Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. On Tuesday evening, February 20th, Manhattan Concert Productions will present Broadway Classics in Concert. This star-studded event will feature songs from some of Broadway's most beloved, award-winning composers and writers who we caught up with here at Sardi's right before the legendary night.
I can't be bothered now. I came about to write Crazy for You because the telephone rang and a man named Roger Horchow called me up from New York out of the blue and said, you have a big hit show on Broadway that's a comedy. I want a new musical using Gershwin music, and would you write the book of a new musical? And I said no. I said, I don't know how to write books to musicals. Let me give you the number of some friends of mine. Here's Wendy Wasserstein's number, and here's Terrence McNally's number. I think you got the wrong guy. I'm working on a new play. So we hung up. A week later, the telephone rings. He says, he's a Texan. I think you're making a mistake. I think you should rethink this. Believe it or not, I turned him down again. He flew to, I live in Washington. He flew to Washington. We had lunch, and he talked me into doing it. And boy, I'm sure glad he did. We did the invited run through in New York. At the end of our 6-week rehearsal period, we had about 100 people in the room. And after the first act, Mike Akren and I were rubbing our hands going, oh man, they love this. Wait till they see the second act. Then the second act went on and it bombed. It didn't work. And we looked at each other and said, oh no, what are we going to do? So 4 of us got together in one of our hotel rooms that night. And it was Mike and Stroman and me and Paul Gemignani, who was the music director. And the 4 of us got together and we said, what are we going to do? And the question was whether to try to open the show out of town in Washington with the second act as it was and work with it judiciously and carefully there and try to make changes, or to throw the second act out and just go into to our out of town tryout with a whole new second act. And that's what we voted on to do. And we decided to do it because we realized that would give us an extra bite of the apple, because if we go down and the new second act didn't work, we could try to rework it yet again. One of the principal problems with the second act was that we had a ballet in it. I, in my great misguided, had a misguided notion that we should have, just like all those great old films from the Freed unit in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. The hero should go to New York, have this revelation when he has this ballet, during the ballet, and change his mind and go back to the heroine. Well, we got so far along that William Ivy Long, who did the costumes, had designed and built an entire set of costumes for the ballet, so that when they got to New York, people were sort of vulture-like and unpleasant after having been in beautiful Dead Rock, Nevada before. So the notion that, oh my God, the environment reflected his decision-making. The entire, all the costumes were scrapped. And if you remember the Broadway production, these many years ago, there was just one moment of the Gershwin Concerto No. 2, and you saw the costumes just briefly. And the reason was we weren't going to use them anyway, so we might as well get some mileage out of them. So there was a little musical interlude with those costumes. We also had, in the original production that got cut to ribbons, a prop in the post office that was a printing press. And Polly right now says you can buy your ticket or you can mail a letter. This is the post office and the box office. And she's printing playbills. And we had this wonderful prop where there was a printing press, but then Bobby, the hero, would jump on it and ride it like a bucking bronco. And it bucked and he sang the song Crazy for You. Well, that was our theme song. That was the name of the show, and ended up having to cut that number and cut the prop. Another like $50,000 prop that went into the alleyway and backstage because it just didn't work. got it in front of the audience, and it didn't work. And the audience tells you everything. So there it went.